Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, if you've always been complaining about a bad hair day, you're going to want to meet my next guest. She had a wild hair, pun intended, and you won't believe the company she created. That's just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, if you've been watching this show for any length of time, you know how much I love entrepreneurs and I love their journeys. Talking about that today, Kelly Foreman. She's the CEO and founder of MopTop Junk-Free Hair. Kelly, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Very cool. All right, so I want to hear your story. How did this all start? You didn't just jump up one day and said, I'm going to create a hair care company.
No. Actually, I was the only one in my family that had curly hair. And it was always kind of the joke. Milkman? Where'd she come from? And we struggled. My sweet mother tried everything, literally everything. Flash forward, I have 3 girls. In between the 4 of us, we have 4 different textures. My oldest is, you might say I got a wild hair, pun intended. My oldest has wavy hair. And then when my second one was born, she had straight baby fine hair. And I thought, oh, this is going to be awesome. And then she turned 2. And it went from straight baby fine hair to this teeny weeny afro. And I thought, oh no, because then flooding back are middle school, junior high, all of those images and stressors. And I never fit in and I couldn't figure out what to do.
We have pictures of that. These are from your high
It's okay to laugh. It is okay.
But you had nicknames. What did they call you?
Hey Pood, Poodle, Brillo. MopTop was actually one as well. And I was like, I kind of like that one. And being a little rebellious at times, I'm going to make it into a good thing.
Okay, so how did you develop this hair care line?
Well, when my middle daughter turned 2, I had to figure it out. And I know somewhere I still have this. I'm very methodical. And I thought, okay, who do you go to? You go to a stylist because stylists know. Well, what stylist? And so I targeted stylist with wavy, curly, and coily hair textures. And I went through a series of questions. If I like their hair, I love your hair. And then, went through this whole series of questions. And then if I didn't, and this part I felt just a little inauthentic because that felt bad, but you can understand the good, but you also need to understand the bad and why. And so if I didn't like their hair, but I needed the information, I was like, I love your hair, and went through the same series of questions. And then I started studying the patterns. And basically it came down to what are the ingredients that they're using? What is the cut? This is where the stylist is critical. And then how are they applying it? If you can get these 3, it sounds like a lot. It's really not. I love things simple. If you can get those 3 things together, you're golden.
Well, it looks like your hair is really healthy.
Yes.
Do people always come up to you and want to touch your hair?
It does happen a lot. And that was another thing too. I'm a runner. And so I always wanted, and I grew up in the time when everything was mousse and hairspray. And so if I had it on, my hair would move like that. But when I'm running and I look in the sun, I'm like, I wanted the swish, like the girls with the really long, straight, beautiful hair. And so having something soft to the touch that I could touch and it not, frizz out, was really important.
And that you're helping countless men and women who are damaging their hair with the things they're doing right now.
Correct.
I mean, what are some classic things people do to destroy their hair?
Oh, shampooing too frequently if you have textured hair and you don't have a huge oil production. Heat is terrible. And you have to be really careful with the color and other chemical processes that you're doing.
Wow. Okay, you've brought some products.
Yes.
Tell us what we're looking at.
Okay, so we basically have 3 categories. We have our salon line, which is where we started, and then our natural retail line, and then the natural kids line. So you can tell the difference. The salon line has the dark charcoal background, whereas the natural has the white background. All of our cleansers have a green text. The conditioners are blue, and then the stylers are pink.
Okay, I don't want you to give away your secret formula. This is not like asking KFC how they make their chicken. But it's all natural ingredients, or what makes yours different?
We are the perfect blend of nature and science. You can tell somebody all day long, it's the most natural thing in the world. And oh, by the way, you got to store it in the refrigerator. And oh, by the way, it doesn't really work all the time, or only part of the time. And so that was it. Aloe, sea botanicals, and honey. Those are kind of the workhorse ingredients in our products. And then I get really nerdy about fragrances. I try to do as many completely natural fragrances as possible, but there are some instances where we do have to have synthetic. And another thing in that is you can buy really, really cheap synthetic, and those are the ones that most people can't take. Or, a better, higher grade quality. So that's what we do. And I want it subtle enough. I like clean, fresh scents, not particularly masculine, not particularly feminine, but just clean and fresh, so that when you have your lotions or perfume or cologne or whatever, it blends nicely.
I was on your social media, and you have so many happy customers on your Facebook. We've got a few of these smiling faces. It must make you so happy to see happy customers.
It makes my heart sing.
Yeah.
It really does. There's like when they get it, that is just such joy for me.
Do you feel like you're rescuing that child in everyone? I mean, that little girl or little boy who got picked on?
Absolutely, because here's the thing. People make choices in life based on how they feel about themselves. And I really believe that if I can, and I've seen it so many ways. I have a frizz intervention book that I keep, because if you don't, it sounds cliche to say bad hair day, but if you're having a bad hair day, you're not going to necessarily go after and take that risk for whatever the decision is. It could be asking someone out. It could be going for a job. It could be applying for school, whatever. It's just so powerful. It is more powerful, I think, for women in general, just because, it is. It's a big thing for women. But I also see a lot of that in men.
Sure.
I'd love to do men's line too.
Okay, let's put up the picture of your kids, because they're adorable. They could all be hair models.
I love that picture.
Tell me their journey so far. What are their ages?
Well, they're much older now.
Okay.
So they're 22, 19, and oh my goodness, I forgot about that one. 22, 19, and 16.
And did they all grow up kind of loving their hair after you started working on them?
They did. And it's interesting, kids, when they're in your home, they may or may not say the things, the little pushback, Mom, you are always saying that. And then I hear them in stories. I hear situations that come back, and I'm like, she heard me.
Isn't that amazing?
Not only did she hear me, she's teaching others. You don't have to do this.
And something tells me that this hair is hereditary, and it'll be your grandchild one day.
I imagine.
The same thing. So I love your social media. In fact, you don't have to buy her products to follow her and get great hair care tips. Here's one of them.
Hi, it's Kelly Foreman with MopTop Junk-Free Hair Care, and today we're going to talk about how to get really great second and third day hair after the wash. We all know we're too busy and don't have time to do this whole process every day. So I've got a couple ways to cheat, if you will. The reason I formulate the products like this is so that everything will be water soluble, and we can easily get great second and third day hair. You'll need a couple things. This type of spray bottle is my favorite. It's adjustable so that based on the thickness of what we make, it will be able to come out like you need it to. I do a combination of kind of 1-to-1 parts. So 1 part styler, 1 part water. So I need it to be able to open up a little thicker. And then I have another way to do this that I'll tell you next. So to start off, I use my water. And, oh, wait, most important. Look at the halo. It's a mess. And this is day 3. And then look at my side curls. They're just not very happy. Anyway, we're going to fix that. So we start, and I want to saturate it pretty good, like this, and get those ends. And it's pretty tangly, and that's just because our head is like a swivel. So you will have some tangles. It's not going to be absolutely perfect. And then I'll do kind of praying hands. And what this does is this encourages the curls to get back together, like that. Now, I am a bit of a perfectionist, and I'm still seeing a little bit of frizz. So I'm going to take just a little bit of custard, like that, and I'm going to dilute it in the sink. And then I'm just going to place it and smooth it out, like that. Okay, there we go. Much less frizz, too much frizz. Second and third day hair. For more videos like these and to learn more about our products, go to MopTopHair.com. See you soon.
Kelly, what I love about this most is that you care so much. I mean, this is not just a product. It's not like you could sell, life insurance. I mean, this is your life.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Where is all this headed? Dream big. Where do you see this? Where do you see this going in the next few years?
I want us to get into more salons for sure, and I want to add some new products. I love talking to my customers and hearing, what are things that you need? Where are the gaps? How can I serve here? Because I've learned so much through the years, and I love solving problems. I mean, it is one of my all-time favorite things. And then when I can help someone go from, it's crazy. I have images from our frizz interventions where you'll see someone come in and they're just, it's all in. When you see women in particular, they're like super tall and they're not standing up, they're doing this. Well, the same thing happens. It's that same concept with your hair. And then all of a sudden, when you go and you show them how to do it and how beautiful they are, how handsome they are, how they're created is amazing. Then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I look good.
Well,
Yay.
I love that you're almost a therapist because you're taking people who once hated their hair.
Yes.
I just imagine you as a child crying, coming home crying because somebody said something unkind. And now you're a rock star. You rock this hair, you own this hair, and it's become your signature.
I get to do this.
I love that. You're amazing. We're going to end with your website, which is MopTopHair.com. Kelly Foreman, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.